I'm Dr. Jordan Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. All right, you're getting a little bit of a rant today, but it is from me, so you know it's going to be an educational, expansive rant. We're going to get real today. 2 calls this week and some messages from some private clients, and I want to be more real about the urgency of not addressing burnout, more specifically feminine burnout, more specifically our super women conditioning. I had 2 calls with women that have joined the feminine mentorship for 2024, and they had a lot in common. Both are super women. Both are professionals, manage big teams. They're overfunctioners. They are partnered with underfunctioners or people that just don't have the capacity that they do, emotionally, physically, time management wise, all the ways. I know you know. They have done the work, the therapy, the counseling, the Googling, the listening to the podcasts, and both had issues. Same with my clients that were messaging me. We had some health issues, some things coming up either with themselves or with family members, mainly around breast cancer and autoimmune disease. In these conversations, they know that something needs to change. They are exhausted, they are not connected, and they are not fulfilled. They know that they cannot continue on like they're continuing, that something's going to give. And if you are a superwoman, it's going to give in health, wealth, or love. It's usually health and relationships where we start to see the cracks and the fractures. So today I want to go over the signs of feminine burnout so you can see them coming way ahead of time, way before the diagnosis, way before your relationship fails or is on life support, before the divorce, or like in many cases, I work with many single super women, because until we do this work, we're just going to take the patterns and repeat them in our next relationship. So we're going to go over the signs of feminine burnout. We're going to go over the phases of feminine burnout as they are specific to superwoman. The time to do something about this stuff is today, not next year, not when things slow down, because you're a people pleaser. They're never going to slow down. It's never going to, there's never going to be a right time to do this work. And I would like you to do it before the crash, before the diagnosis, before the divorce, etc. And again, divorces, leaving relationships, I do not think that that is a bad thing at all. Sometimes it is the best thing over the new beginning. Both people can be happy, but just if we can heal things before something bad happens, that's the goal. That is why I got into naturopathic and functional medicine. I wanted to prevent disease, not treat it at the end stages when things were acute. It made no sense to me. So let's talk about this. Let's have an honest assessment of where you are at. And with superwomen, our actions do not match our desires. We say we want one thing, to have energy, connection, to be pursued, to be taken. And we cannot have that when we have feminine burnout. And we cannot have that as superwomen with our capes on in our masculine. It is not possible. I'm going to explain why today. So today we're more focused on like the health, the physiology. And in our next episode, I'm going to focus on relationships. So let me back this up and start from the beginning. I am glad that the people reaching out to me this week were already working with me, and we'd already laid the foundation for hormones to be anti-inflammatory, all these things to reduce stress, to be able to be in our feminine. And even if we're like, no matter where you're at in the journey, the time is now to do the work. But if we can do it before the really bad things, let's do it before the really bad things, because it is in our nature as superwomen to ignore the pain, ignore the warning signs, and just keep going, keep tolerating, keep pushing. But I want to let you know about your own health so you can see it coming without waiting for the diagnosis, without waiting until the superwoman crash. Because when we don't stop, our bodies will stop us. And this can be in many forms. So when we start to experience physical symptoms of feminine burnout, the migraines, the repeated yeast infections every month before our cycle. I had a client that has been months of yeast infection free after years of it every time before her period. And she just thought she was just going to live with it. Like, how many times do we just live with things? Superwomen get diagnoses of exclusion all the time. This is IBS. This is fibromyalgia. This is chronic fatigue. Things that, okay, well, we've tested a lot of stuff and we know it's not that. So we're going to call it this. That's what a diagnosis of exclusion is. Or I see a lot of chronic illness. Now, remember, I ran a women's health clinic for almost 9 years. Saw a lot of autoimmune disease, especially autoimmune thyroid disease, cancer, like breast cancer, endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer. These are the end stages. These are the crashes. These are the things that if we do not intervene, our body is going to intervene and take us out for us to put us in a position where we need to be cared for, where we need to ask for help. So let's just fucking learn it now. And I'm a little hot about a little ragey about the suffering that women endure, because early on we're gaslit by the medical system. We're told our blood work is fine, but we don't feel fine. So just talking to so many women this week that were at the end stage when you know it was preventable ahead of time if they had just like heard a podcast like this one. So please share this with your burnt out friends. Let's save some lives today, seriously, because we need to get women the help that they need ahead of time. Okay, so we're told your blood work is fine, but you're like, but I don't feel fine. Or here's your antidepressant or your birth control prescription, just to like mask things. And when we are told by doctors, by specialist after specialist, oh, scan's clean, blood work looks good, we start to think, must be me. Or that was a waste of time. Guess it's me. Guess I just have to live like this. Guess I have to push through. These are things I hear from superwomen every single day. Who hasn't thought of those things? I've been burnt out 3 times. In my pre-med degree, went on birth control for the first time. I had my period 3 weeks a month. I was bleeding 3 weeks a month. I was exhausted. I was depressed. I was over functioning. I was going to school. I was working a part-time job. I was volunteering because I needed to get into med school. And what was the solution? Keep trying different kinds of oral contraceptives and also take this antidepressant. I was burnt out 2 years into starting my women's health clinic. I want to show you pictures of this. My hair was falling out. I had adult acne. I was not sleeping. I was needing to drink like 2-3 glasses of wine a night to be able to fall asleep. My adrenals, my nervous system, it was absolutely fucked. And I knew the things. I knew the things and didn't have enough boundaries, communication skills, enough. Like I was so in doing, achieving, like I need a multi 6-figure salary. I need a 7-figure, like achieving the goals with no ability how to rest, how to enjoy my accomplishments, like how to receive, how to be in partnership. No clue. Was stuck in masculine doing, had my superwoman cape on. I need to find pictures of me at that time. Like, it was bad. It was not a good look. And then another time I was burnt out when my daughter was a year old, from like a year and a half to two-ish. And I had my puking illness, which you can all remind me of. I have clients with their mystery rash illnesses or their mystery digestive stuff, mystery pain things. And yeah, they might get a diagnosis of exclusion, but like we know there's more to it. But it's when specialists are scratching their heads going, there's nothing on your MRIs and your blood work looks good. This is our warning light. This is our pink canary, our warning light flashing. I will tell you more in a minute. And then, why do my patients get a reversal of diagnosis? Why do I have super women flying to my clinic from different continents? Because 80% of illness today comes from stress. Conventional medicine is missing the mark here. They are not using a holistic approach. It works fucking amazing for acute illness. Like, if you are bleeding out or having a heart attack, do not call me. I don't know what to do to help you. But for those that I work with, the high achievers, mostly women, and a very select group of very smart men, it is the stress. It is the stress from burnout, more specifically feminine burnout, because we are in our masculine all the time. That is the problem that we need to treat. So if you've done things without results, you've seen the specialist, you've had the scopes, you've been tested, you've been told everything was normal. Lovely. We know that nothing is emergent. Maybe you've been diagnosed with a thyroid condition, or you have an undiagnosed autoimmune disease because, again, gaslighting of the medical system. It takes women years to get an endometriosis diagnosis. So they've had painful periods and they get crippled every month. They work with me and they're like, oh, my period snuck up on me. I actually bled on my underwear and I didn't even realize. But the medical system's like, ooh, we don't know, because we don't believe women and their pain. And also we've taught women to tolerate pain. Maybe you can't lose weight. Maybe you can't sleep through the night. Maybe you're not as happy as you should be. Maybe you can't relax. You can't enjoy what you've built. And nothing is more of a mindfuck than being like, I've achieved so many of the things that I've set out to do. I've checked the boxes and I'm still not happy. There's a shame in it. But you are in good company here because we all feel the same. We have the house, we have the cars, we have the bags. We go, get the Botox, we take the vacations, and we're still not happy. You start to blame yourself. You start to go inward and go, what is wrong with me? But we are so burnt out. Our relationship to pleasure is so messed up that you can't let yourself feel good enough to be able to orgasm for longer than 2 seconds. I polled the women in the mentorship the other day, and I was shocked. So I'm like, oh my God, we still have so much work to do with our relationship to pleasure. It had significantly improved, but it's just this conditioning is deep. Another thing is what used to work for you doesn't work anymore. So the exercise and lifestyle things that you used to do to feel good, to lose the weight, they're not working anymore. The self-care that you used to do doesn't work anymore. So I'll tell you what you don't need: more things to do. What you need is someone to connect the dots and teach you a different way of being. And that is what I do. I am connecting the dots from the physical, cellular, hormonal, nervous system health to our mental health, the pleasure side of things, the relaxing, the enjoying, the being, the set of skills by not having, well, really, it's they've been suppressed since a young age. We're connecting that to create everything that a superwoman says she wants. That desire, that connection, that energy to be able to be pursued, to be able to be taken, to be able to be cared for. And like, it's even more of a mind fuck because our mental health, our ability to enjoy, to receive pleasure, like the stronger superwomen are mentally, usually the worse they are at caring for themselves physically because they just keep going. This is why I coined the term feminine burnout 3 years ago. Let's unpack it. And you can listen to my feminine burnout podcast series for more. So 3 signs of feminine burnout. Number 1, exhaustion, physical, mental. This is the brain fog. This is the forgetfulness, and emotional. Physical, mental, emotional exhaustion. Is this you? And again, conversation we were having in the feminine mentorship group, the boiled frog. We've heard of this analogy where if you drop a frog in hot water, a boiling pot of water, it will jump out. If you slowly turn up the temperature over years, over time, slowly, it will stay until it dies, until it is boiled. This is what is happening to us. This is what is happening to women globally. It's happening over years. And we are so good at tolerating and pushing through that we don't even know how it feels to feel good. It's going on for a long time. It is years of hormone imbalance before we get a breast cancer diagnosis or blood pressure changes. Like, do you get dizzy after standing up fast? I don't know how many superwomen I've talked to that, oh yeah, like I have low blood pressure or high blood, like we've got these blood pressure issues, but we can link it back to stress. And because we're good tolerators, we're good at finding solutions. We're good at setting up systems for ourselves that just help us keep going, or we're really good at doing things to cope, like drinking too much coffee, having too much sugar. And it could even be in the form of protein bars or like healthier things to keep us going. Online shopping, renovations, distractors. But there's weight you can't get off. Your hair is falling out. You have adult acne. You're dizzy. You're lightheaded. You had palpitations. You have digestive issues. You have sleep issues. Your desire, your joy, your pleasure is pretty much gone. But your blood work is fine in this stage, in this initial exhaustion stage of burnout. The second stage is crusty. This is where we start to get snippy and repellent to people. You can tell people kind of want to avoid you. Well, again, more on this in the next episode. Or you're just not as connected to people as you want to be. This could be to your children or your partner or colleagues or friends. And we start to get cynical too, like apathetic. Our thoughts start to go to, doesn't matter. Nobody appreciates me. Look at all that I do. We start to feel very, very isolated. We start to need connection, but we don't have the energy for connection because we are burnt out. Or the ways that we try to seek it is like we're the planner or the executor. So we have to do all the things, which makes us more exhausted. So this is where like our actions and our desires are not matching up because we're burnt out. We're great at saying we want one thing and like taking the opposite action. More in the next episode. The third stage is no pleasure. No pleasure, no desire. We have anhedonia. We are not as happy as we think we should be. The things that used to make us happy do not make us happy anymore. We've lost desire. So this looks like, what do you want for dinner tonight? I don't know. What show do you want to watch? I don't know. What position do you want to have sex in? I don't know. In Chinese medicine, the gallbladder. So we know the gallbladder excretes bile, digestive fluid into the small intestine to help us digest, which we are not digesting properly if we are stressed, which can make us nutrient deficient. Like, just, do you see the links? In Chinese medicine, the gallbladder is a yang organ that governs decision-making and planning. So when we are in our yang, our masculine, our superwoman way too much, we start to have a hard time making decisions. We're not as inspired. We don't have that zest for life. We're not as assertive as we used to be. Just like, oh, might as well just do it myself. So when we've had too much doing, too much superwoman, we get here, the anhedonic place. The fourth is ineffective. And this is when high achieving women come to me, which is crazy because they'll like ignore and explain away the other 3 stages that I just mentioned. But when they are not as effective at everything, at doing their job, at executing and killing it in their career, then they're like, whoop, now we have a problem. And I mean, I get it. I've been there too, as I said 3 times. So I am teaching you from having walked this path. This is not just theory for me. And I've also worked with over 2,000 women that have been here along these various stages. So we're ineffective. This is the 4th stage. It takes you longer. Things take you longer. People come to me and they'll be like, I'm forgetting things. I never used to forget things. I used to be sharper. Do I have Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's runs in my family. Like, I'm worried I'm getting Alzheimer's. And then they've also created a lot of systems to be in place. Like, oh, I would die without my calendar or my assistant. So we eventually get to the point where we're just not that effective. And we're not that effective emotionally. But I mean, neither are our hormones, are our nervous system, are our adrenals. Like, our physiology isn't as effective either. So where are you in this burnout cycle? Exhausted, crusty, anhedonic, ineffective, maybe a little mix of all. And I want to just give you a little taste of what it's like on the other side of this. My clients that do the work in the feminine mentorship, I got a message on Monday. I experienced the most amazing orgasm ever last night, and I was fully present. Got another message on Wednesday, yesterday. Sleeping through the night. Had the highest sale ever. Lost more than 6 pounds and was able to relax into my feminine. And my husband had that look in his eye for me that I haven't seen in years. I could cry. And this is a client that I hadn't had an update on in a couple months. So a lot of us are hanging out in the exhausted, crusty, anhedonic, ineffective place when we could be hanging out in the sleeping, energized, fully present for orgasm place. And it is possible for you. You've just been doing the wrong things. You haven't had the right dots connected. Next, I want to explain the phases of burnout. And this is going to explain why you feel the way you do. So the first is the alarm phase. And this, I think it's Hans Seeley. I don't know. Someone created this. I did not create this, but this is like known phases of burnout. I just want to relate it to superwomen, to your experience. So the first is the alarm phase. Like when it's stress is startling, like, oh, I forgot to do that. I got to do that. And you're motivated to go get it done. Or you go to cross the street and, there's a car coming. I need to save myself. Okay. That is normal. And then we should go back to a resting state. But for superwomen, we keep getting handed things. We keep getting handed things and handed things and handed things. And think of like women, right? We're kids and we learn to please others. And then we go to work and we get handed more things. And then we become mothers and we get handed more things until we can't hold them all, until balls start dropping, something has to give. Or another common analogy is the treadmill going too fast. We're on the treadmill and somebody just turns it up and turns it up and turns it up. Eventually, chronic stress starts to affect our hormones, our weight, our sleep, our mental health, all of it. We think we are handling it, but we are not. And this is where I said, like, the more mentally tough the superwoman, obviously, like, the less healthy she can be. The second is adaptation, the second phase of burnout. This is where we're starting to put systems in place, where we're starting to scroll social media, online shop, use sugar, use wine, use other things, have affairs, and our adaptations start to feel normal. This is when, a little further along the adaptation phase, we start to feel anhedonic, where we are not happy. We go to the doctor and we're prescribed an antidepressant in this phase sometimes. And then the third phase is exhaustion. It's the superwoman crash, where we're off on a medical leave. We're like reading the same line over and over, forgetting conversations. Like we're just in a stress response. People are around us are like, you're not present. Are you okay? We're not wanting to do anything, but we're deeply desiring connection. We're desiring more. We know something has to give, but we don't know what. And we're so exhausted that the thought of changing anything or doing anything different in and of itself is overwhelming. And this is again where, like, if we're in exhaustion for too long, if we don't make a change, our body will take us out. That's the superwoman crash. Something will give. These things are happening over time. They are insidious that we don't even know. We get the promotion, which is like, yay, this is amazing. More money, more of this, like closing bigger deals, having children. We keep getting handed more, 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 more. And we are not good at resting, relaxing, celebrating. We don't have anything to offset it. So we end up with feminine burnout. We are the boiled frog asking ourselves, how did I get here? Am I an idiot? Should I leave my job? Should I blow up my whole life and run away to an island? Like, and this often is ending in depression. But how did you get here? You got here because of the superwoman conditioning, because you're a people pleaser, because you are a caregiver, because you take care of others' needs. You focus out, not in. We are not focused on what is our body telling us? What am I feeling? A lot of us were told that our feelings were too much. We were given love by our ability to earn, by our ability to make our parents and teachers and partners proud. We got taught that we could do it all ourselves and not ask for help. And oftentimes, because we're the overfunctioner and we have underfunctioners around us, it's easier to just do it ourselves. We think that resting or asking for help is weak. If we make others feel bad, we feel bad. But if we make others feel happy, we don't feel happy. So we're constantly left empty. We're constantly left over giving. And I'm going to get into that more in the next episode. We don't feel, we thought our feelings were too much. Our feelings are inconvenient. But we're very good at taking the temperature of the room for others because maybe our parents had an addiction. Maybe we were raised in narcissistic family systems. Our partners might have these tendencies. This ability to read a room, take the temperature of the room, makes us killers in corporate, in our careers. It makes us very, very shitty at romantic partnerships, and it makes us very, very shitty at taking care of our health. So as I said, we have learned to ignore our pink canary, our warning light that something is wrong. It's like driving with your oil light, your change oil light flashing for 2 weeks. And honestly, this is me literally at the moment, which is like, the typical superwoman bullshit. I don't have time to do it because of this, this, this. No, it's because I have been stuck in a cycle of over giving and under receiving. And we do this to our bodies. We ignore. We accomplish, we carry more, we do more because we are ignoring our pink canary. We're ignoring our warning light. We are ignoring the signs and phases of feminine burnout. Where does this lead us? It leads us to burnout at best, diagnosis at worst, disconnection in our relationships, and we are not fucking happy. Loneliness is the equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So regardless of where you are at, it is time to do something about this. Time to learn how to transition from CEO, mom, wife, into deeply feminine. It's time to learn how to receive help, orgasms, more money. It's time to learn how to achieve from feminine, submissive energy, from doing less, from inviting people to do for you and be happy about it. No nagging, no crustiness, no. Energy switch. It's time to tune into our feminine wisdom, our intuition as a superpower. And this is what I teach in the feminine mentorship. The time is now, not later, to make a change. And I mean, even if you aren't in dire straits, but you're in like a good spot, but you've been in that burnout cycle in the past, if you do not learn these skills, it's going to happen again. Like, look at me 3 times. We're not sitting in flower fields manifesting all day. We're not looking at our vulvas in mirrors. I know that that will not work for your brain. You need tangibles. You need the feminine skills that you have forgotten or have never been modeled for you by the women in your family. This is what is missing from your health and your relationships. There are 6 skills salons for this. There are 2 in-person retreats. Ladies, this is a 5-figure investment, and the feedback that I get from the retreats is, I got the value from this weekend alone. I have done other masterminds. I have done other personal development work, And there's something about the way you put it together, the women in this room, this was life-changing. I got the value in the last 2 days. So if this is you, if you have feminine burnout, if it is affecting your emotional, mental, physical health in some way and your relationships, go to the link in the show notes and apply. You and I are going to get on a call. I take a small number of women. I'm taking 15 women, and I think 4 or 5 spots are already full. So, and I have another call right now. If this speaks to you, apply. Apply. We will make sure that it is a fit for both of us. And if it isn't, I have other options for how to help you. But if you are called, the time is now. Fill out the application. Let's fix this once and for all, for you, for your relationship, for your kids. Can't wait to connect. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.